For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
No One to Blame is sponsored by Altered Grounds Landscaping, the area's top professional landscape company. They're family-owned and operated business serving St. Louis and the Metro East for 20-plus years. Their mission is to make your home or business stand out from the rest. They offer free consultations year-round. Get $300 off your project of $3,000 or more with code AGNOTB. That's code AGNOTB. They're booking pools for the upcoming summer season. So if you are having any thoughts about getting a pool for this upcoming summer, stay ahead of the game and contact them now for any of your pool project needs.
There's no one to blame, there really is no one to blame. But I swear to God, it's my fucking fault. It's a better sports podcast. It's my fucking fault, but there's no one to blame. Neffy Kevin do. Neffy Kevin do.
Do it.
Kevin.
Don't listen to what I say or whatever kind of peer pressure I'm telling you.
Do it.
Oh, fucking do it again.
I know there's really nobody to blame for this but myself. Well, I don't know, maybe the Buffalo Bills, the Boston Red Sox, or Mr. T, or the Jets.
Wait a minute, Mr. T, are you telling me that you bet on the fight in Rocky 3 and that you bet against Rocky?
Hindsight is 20/20, my friend.
Welcome in to No One to Blame, where hindsight is always 20/20. Wow. Kev, what a first and / second round. Just call it a first weekend of the tournament. Chalk City up there this weekend. But hey, man, I liked it. I enjoyed it. What were your initial thoughts, dude?
Yeah, Rock Chalk Jayhawk, just not the Jayhawk. Yeah, I'll take chalk, man. I know I like having the upsets. Like having the Cinderella stories. And we talked about it, I think, the last episode. First two games, like, yeah, that's cool and all, but everybody wants to see the Blue Bloods and the Elite Eight, Final Four, and we're getting that. We're just getting it starting in the Sweet 16. These are some phenomenal matchups. We go through these game by game, man. You got Blue Bloods going against each other. You've got contrasting styles, and you've got literally, there's only one double C digit left, and that's Arkansas. And they're coached by Kyle Perry. So, are they really a Cinderella? They're a 10 seed, but they're coached by an all-time coach. These are going to be good games, man.
I love it. And we will be getting into all of that, of course. We'll be talking about the bets. We'll be talking about the highs, the lows. We did have a buzzer beater. Awesome game that was between Maryland and Colorado State. I figure, Kev, we just go region by region, man. Let's quickly recap region by region. Let's hit, let's talk about them first games that got these teams here. Well, we got to hit on those Saturday, Sunday games a little harder, man. We had some good games. A lot of blowouts, a ton of chalk. If you're betting on these games, it has been chalk like crazy. Shout out Oat. Oat texted me on the side. What up, Dow? Get in the chat, dude. What up? Yeah, man. Chalk like crazy.
You got something to say, Oat. No, you got something to say.
Let's start it in the South, dude. I just want to get into it. I want to be honest with you. I want to talk about it with you. I want to get into it. I got nothing else to talk about today, baby. We are all March Madness. Let's go. The South, man. First game in, we had Auburn blowing out Alabama State, 83-63. No shocker there. not going to spend too much time on some of these first round games. Kev, please interrupt me if you got something to say about one of them.
Will do.
Louisville Creighton. I was on Creighton initially when I saw the brackets came out, and then I changed my tone to Louisville. The metrics just seemed to add up, but boy, Creighton put it on them. 89-75, resounding 14-point win. Did that shock you at all?
No, these 8-9 matchups, well, with the seeding, these are as close to matchups as you're really going to get. I had Creighton. I like Creighton in this one in our no one to blame bracket. Creighton's been here before. They've done this. Louisville, first year head coach, so no, it didn't shock me.
Yep. I do not have my bracket on me. I was a bad little boy. Kevin's got his, so Kev, we could, if we want, we can go over your bracket at the end. We could do it as we're going. Shout it out if you want.
2 for 2, Auburn and Creighton.
The first 4 games I'm not even going to talk about, but I did give out Xavier -2.5, first bet of the tournament that covered. We like to see that, but then I followed it up with a Louisville money line. So came back with a Michigan money line. Michigan ends up beating UC San Diego 68-65. A very popular 12-5 seed upset pick, UC San Diego. Michigan was Michigan was only -145, man. Crazy to me. Now they only won by 3, right? Vegas is dialed. I think the line was like 2.5. I played it on the money line, not afraid to lay a little bit of juice. Shout out UC San Diego, dude. I love seeing that, man, because Michigan has a good team. It's a slept on Michigan team, in my opinion.
You know what is interesting about this game? Go back and look at the rebounds. Michigan having the size advantage that they did, they out rebounded them, but only by 6. And Michigan had 6 more turnovers than they did, which usually that's not good. That's probably why this game was as close as it was. Probably when you go deep dive into it.
Yeah, UC San Diego, a team full of athletes too, man. So they were definitely undersized against Michigan. I think most teams are. Michigan, I think the top 10 is height.
You got 2 7-footers. Not too many people can roll that out.
Exactly. We'll talk a little bit more about Michigan and the noise they're making, man. Michigan won the Big Ten tournament. People need to talk about this a little bit more. I'm not just being captain's hindsight here and saying, this good Michigan team. It's like Michigan was feisty for a lot of the year. Now we'll get into it a little bit further, though. My dog is sawing logs over here, dude. Let me know if you could hear him.
No.
Shout out, Jack. Texas A&M beat Yale. I think Yale was actually a sneaky 13 over a 4 seed pick. Definitely the most confident. If you were going to pick a 13 seed to advance, I think a lot of people had Yale. They did it last year against, I think they beat Auburn last year. A&M, Yale was up too. I think Yale might have been up at halftime, but A&M ended up closing it out 80-71. Old Miss knocked off North Carolina 71-64. This was not a 71-64 game. UNC tried to close the gap late and only lost by 7, but Old Miss was putting it on them. This Old Miss team, dude, I love this Chris Beard. This team is awesome, dude. I've got Old Miss. I've got Old Miss exactly where they are right now, playing Michigan State. I know that for a fact. I have in every single bracket that I filled out. And I even have them advancing past Michigan State in a few. We'll get to that when we get on the second rounds. Iowa State thumped Lipscomb 82-55. Way too many people were counting Iowa State out in the first round. I know they have a couple injuries, but this is not Iowa State.
That wasn't the spot.
Squad.
Yeah.
No, not Lipscomb, man. No. Our first true, in my opinion, upset, New Mexico 10-7 against Marquette. New Mexico wins 75-66. A Marquette team that I don't think anyone was picking them to go to the Final Four, but a Marquette team that I thought could get maybe one on a good weekend, 2 wins. I definitely thought they'd win this game.
Big Papi Big Poppy Bill here. Go Bills.
What up, Big Papa Bill? We're always talking about the Bills, baby, on Do Network. Follow Do everywhere for more Buffalo Bills content. Michigan State thumped Bryan 87-62. Nothing to talk about there. I'm just going to keep advancing in this South, Kev. Second round in the South. Auburn played Creighton. I took the points with Creighton. I don't think I posted it. No, I did. I posted it on X. I got it at plus 10. Creighton was winning this game at one point, right? And then it's the second half of this game. Auburn is starting to, tie it up. Auburn's doing their thing, but it's still Auburn. I'm like, man, Creighton may not win outright, but I got plus 10 in my pocket. I'm feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn wins by 12, 82-70. What is going on, dude? Did you watch this game? Do you have any thoughts on
this? This Auburn team, they were kind of floundering coming out of the SEC tournament. They have not looked the same. They were finished losing 3 of their last 4 going into the tournament. Still haven't looked great in these 2 games, even though they beat Alabama State by 20. Janiah Broome did not play well.
Got to wake up.
This next game is going to be a good one. They got some battle the bigs down low. But yeah, Auburn needs to get right because they do not look the part right now.
I agree 1,000% there. Michigan played Texas A&M. Michigan was like a 3.5-point dog, I believe. A couple of my buddies play in a high-stakes Calcutta. If you're not familiar with Calcutta, it's essentially an auction style where you bid on teams. I think some of the top seeds were going for $2,000 or more. So there's definitely a lot of money being thrown around. They grabbed A&M as one of their teams. Unfortunately, A&M goes down here. Michigan 91, Texas A&M 79. Surprising outcome there. Surprising offensive showing from Michigan against what I thought was a good A&M defense. I liked Michigan, but I just didn't think that they would do it, man. I thought A&M had a little more pop to them. What did you think about this game?
Yeah, so Golden 23 points, 12 boards in this game. When he's kind of putting up his 20 and 10, they typically play well. This Michigan team is getting hot at the right time. We talked about a little bit in the previous game, but they coming out of the Big Ten tournament, they're moving on all cylinders. This is a team that went from 8 wins last year to 27 as we currently stand. That is not being talked about enough. An 8-win Big Ten team. Now 27 wins after a coaching change. Obviously the portal, he's bringing in his guys to kind of do what he needs to do. But man, 8 wins to 27, that has got to be one of the biggest turnarounds that I can even think of in college basketball history.
You said 23 points, 12 boards, right? For Vlad?
Golden. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, and he FAU transfer. And where's their coach from?
Yep.
FAU.
Yeah. These guys,
FAU squad, man.
Drake did it. Drake brought a bunch of D2 guys with their coach and we're winning during the season with basically a Division II team. Something to be said about bringing your guys in to run your system, kind of do your thing. It's always talked about in football. Coaches want guys that know their system. Same in basketball, man. This Michigan team's getting hot at the right time.
I agree. I agree, and we'll talk about them even more here in a second. Let's finish getting this bracket going. Ole Miss 91, Iowa State 78, and I predicted this. I definitely thought Ole Miss was going to advance. I thought that this was going to be the test where Iowa State needed to have their roster healthy, right?
Yep.
Maybe an obvious spot. Now, a 13-point win. Again, I don't think I was predicting a 13-point win. but I definitely thought Ole Miss would advance here. They have a really good squad, man.
I don't think the obvious was the spread. The thing that kind of surprised me was Ole Miss 91 points. That's the most points Iowa State has given up in the entire year. They had one game where they gave up 93, but it was an overtime game. It's the most points they gave up in regulation all year. 91 points. I know they got some injuries, but typically the defense would still, kind of that mentality would stay together. But man, Ole Miss just blew it open.
Yep, sure did. Last game here in the South, Michigan State 71, New Mexico 63. Another first half sleepy start from a tournament darling, if you will, in Michigan State. Marches, Izzo, all the above, right? New Mexico was winning this game, right? And I think, Michigan State came out in the second half, took care of business with an 8-point victory, and they covered again. Dude, crazy shit happening, man, in some of these.
Yeah, I watched
Creighton, man, with that Creighton Auburn game. It was just really frustrating if you're betting dogs.
Yeah, this one here, this was a good one. I watched who we got here? Pat.
There he is.
Michigan State looks suspect as hell.
That's right.
I don't disagree with that, but I will say this was a close game throughout. Like you said, New Mexico was winning. This totally seems like a Tom Izzo OG squad, man. They've got, even as much as the point guard with the white headband, they always got the point guard with the white headband.
Jaden Akins, I think, right?
Yeah, they they're playing defense. They're not a great shooting team. They just kind of muck it up and kind of get after it. The only thing positive I think Michigan State can take out of this one was Jace Richardson, star freshman, son of Michigan State alum Jason Richardson, who won a state champion or a NCAA championship with Michigan State, and I think 2002 maybe. Anyway, he only had one field goal. One of their better players, top freshman, one field goal, and they still won this game. So if he even plays remotely like he typically does, maybe this is a different outcome. So maybe a positive pull in there for Michigan State in this close game. So
that's a good point, Kev. It's a good point. So we're going to get into the Sweet 16 here in the South bracket. So let's just stay right there. Ole Miss, Michigan State, March 28th, 7:09 p.m. Michigan State, I think, opened, or they're currently at -2.5 versus Ole Miss. Who you got? Oats got Ole Miss. I like to see it. What
Ole
are you
Miss.
thinking, Kev? Okay.
Ole Miss. Complete opposite styles here, which will make for a great matchup. Ole Miss going to go try to put up 90. Michigan State is absolutely not going to score 90. I think offense wins out in this. I take Ole Miss to cover. They'll cover that. Might be closer. What would you say that line was again?
I'm seeing 2.5.
2.5.
Sharp.
Yeah, I still like Ole Miss, but
razor sharp lines.
Izzo's kind of coaching this team through this. I don't think they're a super talented team. I think Izzo, this is a good coaching job from him this year. This wasn't a great team that he's kind of pushing through the tournament here.
Yeah, no, I agree. Man, I don't know if I'm taking Ole Miss here. Is this the point in the tournament where you start, dinking, dunking, bobbing, weaving?
Yeah.
Like, is this that? Like, Ole Miss
well,
is battle tested though, dude. Ole Miss
because
is battle tested.
Coming out of the SEC, obviously they've had tough games. And these are the best teams. So you have no, like we talked about, there is no Cinderella to fade. There is no, there's a nice story, but they're about to get throttled. No, these are good teams going at it. This could be a tricky one. These lines could be tricky in the Sweet 16 across the board, I think.
They definitely are. Ole Miss has some good wins this year. Oh, that is going to be tough. You could almost argue that just based on strength of schedule, that Ole Miss maybe is a little more battle tested than Michigan State. I mean, the Big Ten was.
Michigan State typically plays. They play a pretty tough out of conference schedule. I think they always play in that champions thing where it's like them, Kansas, Duke.
They lost to Kansas. They lost to Memphis.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
I know. Shocker. They read off a bunch of wins, but they finished the season super strong, dude. They beat 13 Purdue, 12 Michigan, 16 Maryland, 11 Wisconsin, and then they went into the tournament. I think they finished the season with a win over Michigan. Obviously, Michigan ended up winning the Big Ten. Stay tuned at do_Neffy on X. I'm gonna put a bet out for every one of these games. I just don't know yet on that one. That's a tough one for me. My heart, I want Ole Miss, dude. I definitely do. It's just you don't bet with your heart, man.
My heart tells me Michigan State just because that's that old school coach. That's that old school. I used to like that Michigan State team.
That's what my gut's telling me. My gut's telling me,
man. Ole Miss.
But okay, well, we're there. I mean, this is a good coaching matchup, though. It's not like it's
So, Chris Beard, right? Coach Ole Miss was coaching at Texas Tech. No, I mean, am I getting this right? When Michigan State played Tech, I don't want to say that. I could be wrong about that. I feel like Michigan State and Texas Tech played in the Final Four when he was there. But anyway, I'll look that up. We'll get back into that.
Ooh, that's a good. That'd be good if you knew that.
I'm going off the top of my dome with that, though. I'm not sure.
He did coach at Texas Tech. He coached at Texas Tech, Little Rock. You might be onto something there, Kev.
Yeah, I know there was Michigan State. I'm pretty sure it was Michigan State played Texas Tech in at least Elite Eight or Final Four or something. Yeah, like I said, I'm just going off my dome here. I'm too busy, too lazy to look it up.
Who's your bracket have moving on to the Elite Eight?
So I've got Auburn playing Michigan State, and I have that's what I got in there.
Okay, so that Auburn-Michigan game. So Auburn is -8.5. Immediately, I'm just
Michigan.
like, that's too many points. That's
Michigan.
too many points, right?
Yep.
I just don't want. Again, this Auburn team they've shown flashes of brilliance this year. When is it going to click?
Now, I like Bruce Pearl. I've always kind of liked him. Kind of fiery. I don't know. I like him. I feel like he's had some teams from Tennessee and even he's had some good teams lay eggs, I feel like, in this kind of range, in this Sweet 16 type range. So,
yeah. At a certain point, they have to get over that hump, though, right?
Or are they just worn out from that SEC bear of a schedule and they just can't get their second wind?
Could be. So are you liking Michigan with the points plus 8.5? Or are you liking them to move on?
No, plus 8 plus the 8.5 or whatever it was.
And you're going to take off and move on. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Again, follow me on X. I'll put all my plays out for this. To me, it just feels like exactly what you just said. Bet Michigan, but Auburn's going to move on.
They need Pettiford coming off the bench, freshman for Auburn. He's been a stud coming off the bench for them. If Janai Broom struggles with this height that Michigan has, that's where I think you get this cover if Pettiford and some of these guards can't pick it up.
All right. Stout analysis, Kev. That's the South. We are going to have on our podcast next week, we'll be talking Final Four. But who did you pick to win that game, Kev, to move to the Final Four?
Michigan State.
Michigan State over Auburn is what Kevin has. I love it. Absolutely love it. Let's move down to the West, man. Let's move down to the West.
It's funny,
What's funny? What's funny?
I was gonna say it's funny how my mind changed from when I first picked them to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Now I like Ole Miss to beat Michigan State.
Yeah, that's okay.
But my
There's nothing
bracket
wrong with
doesn't
that.
say that.
And you can change your mind. It's all
Yep.
good. Your bracket is your bracket, but you can change your mind in the show, Kev. The West now. Florida throttled Norfolk State, as we all thought. UConn with the victory over Oklahoma, 67-59. I was on UConn. I liked them in that spot. An Oklahoma team that really didn't do much. Did you have any thoughts on that UConn game?
I took Oklahoma strictly out of my, Hurley hate.
Yeah.
Did not shock me at all that UConn won that game, though.
Right. Memphis lost to 12 seed Colorado State, 78-70. I was on Memphis to advance. I bet them +3, which sucked. I thought Memphis would get 1. Tough draw with Colorado State, as we saw that team could play. But I did have the over 146.5. The game lands 148. Shout out Neff. That's what I'm talking about. Colorado State team, man, it was a good squad, man. Good squad. We'll get to their demise here in a minute, but didn't watch much of that Memphis Colorado State game. Got to be honest with you.
Yeah,
had 2 bets in it. Didn't watch much of it.
That was the most picked common 12-15 upset, I think, on the day.
Yeah, Colorado State was a favorite.
They were favored. So not a big shocker there. Nothing really to say about that one.
Nope. Maryland throttled Grand Canyon 81-49. Drake with the 11-6 upset over Missouri 67-57. I had people, I think Missouri might have been another. No, it wasn't. People were taking Missouri to go far in this tournament, and just boom, Drake took them out.
I had Missouri winning this one, but that was it. I just like the fast-paced team typically in these matchups, and it just did not. I mean, they only had 57 points, and they could not do anything.
Drake drug them right into the mud.
Yep.
Texas Tech beat UNC Wilmington 82-72. Probably a closer game than most people thought.
Yeah.
I didn't think UNC Wilmington would come out firing like that. Arkansas upset number 7 Kansas 10-7 here, 79-72. I like this Arkansas squad. We'll definitely talk about them here more in a second. But did you have any thoughts on that Kansas win?
Arkansas just, Coach Cal kind of taking his he had a whole new roster this year. Literally, yep. I don't know if you remember the opening meeting he had when he became the coach. He was going to talk to the team. There was no team. They literally they had all transfers and 3 freshmen, I think, come in. Literally 0 people on his roster to start off. So they start off 0-5 in SEC conference play. And he just kind of got them moving as the season went along. So
say what you will about the man, but he could coach college basketball.
I think we're getting
one
back
of the best of all time.
I think I heard him talking about this a little bit today. I think he got spoiled at Kentucky because he was never, when he was at UMass, when he was at these other places, even the NBA, he was not he was kind of the underdog type. He took UMass, Lou Rowe, Marcus Camby, and he went to Kentucky, and all of a sudden he's got NBA one and dones. He's got 5
every
guys
year
get drafted in the first round every year. After Memphis when he had D Rose, but I think you might be getting back to the coaching of Kyle Perry now that he's at Arkansas before he can kind of get. Now, granted, once they get rolling, what do they got? The Tyson Chicken, isn't that their NIL connect? Like they've got top NIL money now. So he'll go back to getting his top guys, but I think you're kind of seeing old school Coach Calipari with this team.
Into the Sweet 16. Gotta love it, man. St. John's beat Omaha 83-53. No shocker there. Pitino doing his thing. 30-point win. Then here we go, dude. Setting it up. Calipari, Rick Pitino. Battle of Little Italy, dude. Arkansas with the victory. 9-point win for Arkansas. 75-66 to advance to the Sweet 16. Whoa. Brackets busted all across America.
Oh, mine was for sure.
The Johnnies, dude. You threw an interesting stat at me earlier. You got that on you?
3-point stat?
Yes.
No, yeah. All you new age 3 or uncontested layup people with the new regime, you might want to turn the headphones off for a minute. Combined 4 for 41 from the 3-point line. 4 for 30, 41 from the 3-point line. 9%, a 9% 3-point field goal percentage. I could go take my 8-year-old daughter and throw her behind the college 3-point line now. She might hit 9% from 3, doing it granny style.
Dude, St. John's shot 28% just from the floor.
Awful. And you knew that going in. St. John's, their vulnerability was they couldn't shoot the 3. That's where, a lot of people had them going out early if they did.
Dude, the total in this game was 146.5. It got to 141. And you're watching them just brick 37 threes. Oh
yeah, then
God,
Pitino.
I would have lost my mind.
Yeah, Pitino. Well, again, to that point, Pitino benches RJ Lewis in like the last, I can't remember the stretch, 8 minutes.
4 minutes, I think.
Something like that. He was 3 for 17 from the field. Something behind the scenes going on there. Typically, you're not benching your best player, even if they're having, a bad shooting night.
Yeah.
You could definitely tell the offense was not, it wasn't just the shots or shot selection. It was the whole movement of the offense, I think, was kind of stopping with him. And I think Pitino must have had enough at that point, but.
Yeah, I mean, be off shooting from the floor, but don't let it affect the whole offense, right?
My guess is he wasn't doing much else after, maybe he's not playing defense. He's not moving the ball. He's turning the ball over. He's, whatever, kind of stacking onto his bad shooting performance is my guess.
Me and my buddies have a saying in golf: suck, but suck fast. Don't let it affect anyone else.
Yep.
Right. I mean, if you're having an off night shooting, keep shooting, do your thing, but you can't slow down the whole offense while you're doing it. Right. You can't disrupt everybody else, man. So yeah, tough situation there. I wanted to see Pitino go further. I wanted to see a white suit in the Final Four. I just think that would have been like what a storybook season that would have been. But so Texas Tech playing Arkansas. Texas Tech is a 5.5-point favorite, Kev. Texas Tech beat Drake, by the way. I don't know if we talked about that.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that.
I'm going inverted. My bad.
No, we're good.
Texas Tech,
we're good.
They beat Drake 77-64. Just
I don't have much to
a Drake team that was just outclassed.
Yeah.
Texas Tech's good, dude. Texas Tech is like fringe, one of the top teams in the tournament, right? They've been flirting with it all year. So we got Texas Tech laying 5.5 to Arkansas. Again, is what Arkansas doing their team, or are they rising up for the tournament? The number seems too big, in my opinion. I think it should be closer to 3. What do you think?
Man, it's crazy. Arkansas is the worst seed left. And by the way,
Yeah. They're not playing like it though.
No. Man, this is a volatile game, man. You've got, is Coach Cal got these guys going, or is this kind of a, did they peak? Man, this is a stay away game for me as far as the spread. I don't know what to think about this one.
Yeah, 5.5 is tough. That's a tough one. We'll keep it moving in this bracket, though. Florida played UConn in the second round. Tight game here for Florida. Eke out a 2-point win over UConn, man. 77-75. Great game. Absolute awesome game. Florida, a lot of people are thinking should have been the number one seed in the tournament over Duke, over Auburn. Did you have any thoughts on this UConn-Florida game?
UConn, Hurley, as much as I don't like him, he's kind of like Izzo, and he just mucks these games up, man, gets these teams off their rhythm. Tight game at the end. There's a couple, man, I watched so many games. I can't remember the Indy scenario. There was a turnover on the sideline. There was a bunch of, that's what it was. There was a bunch of reviews. Oh my God. It was like review after review after review. There was like an out of bounds, like 3 out of bounds in a row that they had to go to the camera, look at the review. But this is probably the close game that Florida needed to kind of continue them on their roll. But man, Florida's deep, man.
That's the thing, dude. Florida's got to be one of the deepest teams in the country, man. Them and Duke. I mean, who's deeper than those two guys? So many lead changes in this game. I mean, I'm going back looking through the win probability, man. It was craziness for a lot of the second half. It was UConn because they were winning most of the second half. Then all of a sudden, I mean, shit, how much time is left here? 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left. Florida just starts putting it on them a little bit. Like
Walter Clayton had 23 points for Florida. He's their guard. He is legit. He's an NBA guy.
Yeah, he's a stud. I like this Florida team, man, and they're going to be playing Maryland with a buzzer beater versus Colorado State. I did watch this game.
Oh yeah.
Awesome game. Colorado State went down, kick out 3, drained a 3 to take the lead, 71-70 over Derek Queen. Derek Queen had a rough game. I know he finished.
Yep.
He finished.
He was still their leading scorer. Yeah.
Exactly. But I was texting the guys, so my guys in Calcutta have Maryland too. So they were just pissed because we were watching Colorado State.
Good stats for this one, man. This was a good one.
It felt like Colorado State was going to win this game the whole time. It did, and they were outplaying Maryland. But dude, Maryland, they've got some good players, man. Hit us with your analysis.
Yeah, so Maryland, they are the opposite of Florida. Florida runs too deep at every position. What are they calling them? Noah's Ark. They literally have 2 of everything. I think I heard that comment the other day.
I love this.
That Maryland is the total opposite. They've got what they're calling their Crab 5.
They've got 5, baby.
They've got 5 starters that will match up to any 5 starters probably in the college, but they don't have the depth. So that 5, they scored 70 out of the 72 points from their starters. 2 points was all that came from the bench. They had 5 guys over 11 points. The big thing with only having 5 guys, and they have some freshmen, Queen's a freshman, the last 18 minutes and like 40 seconds of the game. Think about that. That's basically almost the second half, right?
Yep.
18 minutes and like 40-something seconds. They had 0 turnovers. Basically, the second half, they had no turnovers. And if you're not turning the ball over in the second half of the game, you're going to be in games. They did not turn the ball over. I like this Maryland squad. We talked about them a little bit during the year. Derek Queen is a stud. If it wasn't for
Dude.
Cooper Flagg, he would be the talk of college basketball as far as freshmen go. Big North Texas win in the NIT tourney.
Shout out Fubo Network sponsor Fubo. Fubo only had the NIT game on yesterday. They had no other games, which
That's crazy.
I would have drove to a bar or something. I would have been gone. Like, that's nuts. This Clifford kid on Colorado State, dude, he was balling in this game. These teams are going back and forth. Derek Queen was missing like wide open, uncontested. I say uncontested.
Yeah.
He's so much taller. Slightly contested layups. It's like, dude, you could tell that he was nervous. The pressure was getting to him. True freshman, you said, right?
True freshman. Yep.
Yeah. From Maryland, chose to stay in his home state, right? Which I think is
Love
awesome.
it. Yep. Love it. Yep.
And his buzzer beater, he's driving to the rack. He kind of steps out a little bit, floater off the glass. I'm like, that's your shot selection? Fucking insane.
So obviously the big talk today is, was it a travel?
Dude, the first thing they said in the group text is like, dude, that was sick, even though he just took 5 steps.
it was a trap by the book. It was a travel in college basketball. In NBA, there's like a gather step that you get, which probably what happened right there. But I'm glad they didn't call it. If you're a Colorado State fan, I feel for you. But I'm glad it didn't end on a travel call. Instead, we got a bucket. Oh, that was awesome. I loved it.
If this is the NFL, you would have had Tony Romo. Oh, I don't know, Jim. Oh, they're gonna count it. Oh,
would have went to review.
Gosh, Tony Romo would have had to change his jeans. Yeah, awesome game. So now we got a dominant Florida team, who everyone thinks is like the sick team, playing Maryland. Florida 6.5 point favorite. Feels like too many points. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, 100% legit shot. I'm with you, Bon.
Clear anti-Maryland bias from these hosts.
No. I am not anti-Maryland. I've been talking Queen up all year. Hey, give me some Stevie Franchise, late 90s squad. Oh yeah, I love me some Juan Dixon, Steve Blake. Give me some Maryland. I'll take it.
Don't forget, man, their number one fan, SVP, man.
Yeah, Van Pelt.
Yeah,
this is going to be an awesome game. This is
Florida, Maryland, dude, is going to be electric. And I know the boys are sweating it out with the Crab 5 right now. And
if you were asking me right now, I would roll it. I would just throw a whim out there and go with Maryland, man. Let's go.
How about if it was a Maryland Arkansas Elite 8? Is there anyone in the country that fucking has that outside of that being your alma mater?
No. Yeah, no.
Right?
The Arkansas one is
Florida may be the most overrated team. Kev, don't feed into him.
Yeah, Bond, you trying to get me on edge here.
You could tell that he may or may not have an investment in Maryland.
They're the most complete team in the tournament right now, probably.
Yeah. I like that. I think Maryland matches up well. We need a legacy game from Derek Queen, though, right?
Yep.
You need
Raiders money line.
There we go, Bond. There we go. He knows.
There we go.
My man, Bond. Appreciate you. I would love to see Maryland, Texas Tech. I would. I would like to keep watching this Maryland team play, I think. That's what I would like to have happen here. The Crab 5's an awesome story, and I like this Texas Tech squad, and I think that'd be a hell of a matchup. Now, if it was Florida, Texas Tech, great matchup also. I don't want Arkansas moving on, I think that's the one thing I could take away from these 4 teams.
I don't like Coach Cal, so I don't care for them to move on either. Texas Tech versus Florida or Maryland, and I'm good.
Let's take it over to the East, Kev. Duke with a massive victory over Mount St. Mary, 93-49. Cooper Flagg played. I think he had, 12 points in 12 minutes or something. Kid's a stud. Move it on. Number 9, Baylor beat Mississippi State. A lot of people are on Mississippi State, I think, just because they played in the SEC. But this Baylor team, not a bad squad. End up with a 75-72 win here against Mississippi State.
They're well coached. Yep, they're a well coached team.
I saw a lot of people getting cute and taking number 12 Liberty over number 5 Oregon. Oregon smacks them by 29 points.
Yeah.
Nothing to see there. Arizona, Akron. Akron was another team. I saw people betting on Akron. I think they were getting like 13 points or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona with a nice 28-point victory there.
Yep.
And then this was the most popular upset pick in the whole thing, was VCU to upset BYU. Number 11 VCU to upset number 6 BYU. VCU hung tough, but BYU, man, they have been awesome, especially as
their
of
offense.
Late.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and they played good. They played good defense against VCU in this game. They won 80-71, nice 9-point win. We'll get to them a little bit more here in a second. Wisconsin with an 85-66 win over Montana. I was hearing people say that, oh man, let's take Montana elevation. Like,
nah.
It doesn't matter. Wisconsin was probably gassed, and they still beat them by almost 20.
Yeah, people need to get that Wisconsin, the old Wisconsin that everybody thinks no offense, all defense. That's not this team. I think people can't get past that.
Yep, they scored 85 here. They scored 89 in their next game. We'll talk about that here in a minute. St. Mary's, the Gals, nice win over Vandy here, 59-56. I like the St. Mary's team. Tough draw down here, unfortunately, for them as a 7 seed. They had to play Alabama. I took Robert Morris plus 23 points. Alabama beats Robert Morris 90-81. Whoa. A little bit of a scare for Alabama there, but then Alabama goes on in the second round, Kev. Puts it on St. Mary's 80-66. I thought St. Mary's would have been able to do a little bit more there.
Alabama, this is a prototypical Alabama. They give up 81 in their first round matchup to Robert Morris. They're defensively, they're inconsistent. Then they only give up 66 to St. Mary's. So, this Nate Oates team is kind of up and down.
Former coach of the UB Bulls, Nate Oates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Didn't think you had that. You didn't think I had that in me,
Pull
did you?
Pull that out, yeah.
BYU played Wisconsin in an absolute epic game, dude. BYU ends up pulling it out 91-89. I know that I had Wisconsin advancing in this spot, whether it was VCU or BYU. I had a future on Wisconsin, and I really liked them. It's BYU team, man. I keep fading them, and they keep winning. So this next game against Alabama, so it's BYU, Alabama, Sweet 16. Alabama's laying 5.5 points. And that obviously that's not where I look in this game. Under over of 175.5. I truly believe that we could see 200 points here.
My only note on this matchup, which is an awesome one, is offense, exclamation. That is they're going to score. They're going to get up and down. I don't trust Alabama's defense game in, game out. Yeah, I'd take the over on that, I think.
So BYU has scored 80 or more points in 4 out of the last 5. The only game they didn't was when they played Houston. Okay. Alabama has scored 80 or more in 5 of their last 5. They scored 90 or more in 4 out of their last 5. Are you telling me that these two teams...
What was that number?
Alabama scored 90 or more. In
No. What was the total? The total number for this?
175.5. So you're telling me, yeah, Kate gets it. It's all the soaking going on at BYU. The Super Soakers, the BYU Super Soakers, and the Alabama.
And they're going to
Tide.
have the highest paid freshman coming in next year in the country.
Are they really? Who?
Yeah. He's a kid who I can't think of his name. Remember, I think I talked about this. This was he's going to make like $7 million or something insane next year. But guess who the BYU alum?
We get Mormon money.
The BYU alum. So Danny Ainge, Utah coach, the Utah owner, BYU alum. Utah's going to tank to get this kid in the draft in 2 years. You watch. Tank for this kid.
That makes sense. You've heard of Arab money. Now you've got Mormon money. $7 million. That's insane, dude.
Something crazy. It's an insane amount.
How do these teams not combine? I don't know.
It's the tournament. The only thing you can go off, it's the tournament. You know, sometimes they haven't shown it, but sometimes in some of these arenas they're not used to shooting in. Sometimes you get some bad shooting nights, but they can push the pace anyway.
They're using different balls in different conferences. Do you know this? Have you heard about this?
A little bit.
Not every NCAA D1 game uses the same ball.
Which is insane. Doesn't make any sense. I don't.
Why?
College footballs are all using the same balls. College or NFL footballs are using the same football.
So they're saying fade teams, especially in the first half, that haven't used the ball. I'm not doing that kind of research. Okay, I'm just gonna let you know right now. I'm not looking. I don't care. I'm just gonna blindly take the over here, and I don't. If I lose money,
I agree.
Cool. I don't care.
I agree.
Take the over. Arizona moved on in the second round to play Oregon. I had Oregon winning this game. Oregon was in control for most of this game. Arizona pulls it out 87-83. Man, that was upsetting. Yeah. Oregon was on them early, man. Oregon was up by, 14, 15. And as soon as Arizona took the lead, Arizona took the lead 35-33, and I don't think they looked back.
Yeah, I thought for sure watching this game, it was 21-7, I think, to start Oregon, and I almost turned it off. I was so pissed off because it's just a prototypical Arizona. This is it. They're going to blow this game. They're going to, from tip, they're just going to get blown out.
Yep.
And God help him, my least favorite Arizona player, maybe ever. I'd have to go back in my Arizona
game,
Rolodex. Had an awesome game. 29 points, 9 boards, 4 assists. Caleb Love just, hey, when he's good, he's good. When he's not, he is not. And he was good in that game. So they're moving on.
Big time players show up in big time games, man. So if he keeps doing this, we could have a little interesting matchup coming up, Kev, because Duke throttled Baylor by 23, 89-66 to set up a little showdown here. Number 1, Duke. Number 4, Arizona. Duke laying 8.5 points, and all I'm hearing, all the chatter is lay it with Duke, lay it with Duke. Now, Caleb Love transferred from UNC, right?
Yep.
He's going to come out and he's going to ball out, man. So maybe look at like a Caleb Love over points prop, depending on what state you're in. He's going to have a good game. I'm telling you right now. He's going to.
He's going to piss down his leg in this game.
No, he's not. You're head to toe in Arizona gear right now, dude. You can't talk. You're so used to being a Raiders fan.
I know.
They're in this.
I know how this,
dude.
I know how this plays out. I've been there, dude. Been there, done that.
Come on, man.
Duke minus 8.5, minus 10.5, whatever the hell number you want to throw out there. I don't see it. Just don't see it. Caleb Love can't play back-to-back games like he did there. God, I'll be rooting for him. God knows I'll be rooting for him, but this is a house divided also. My wife is a huge Duke fan.
Ooh, and you guys get put in the same region together?
They already throttled them early this year. Duke beat Arizona early in the season.
It's different.
This Duke team's just I don't see it. Yeah.
They're good. So I'm assuming that you have Duke and Bama meeting up in the Elite Eight.
Yep.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. I could see a little Duke BYU, but it would be nice. Didn't Duke eliminate Alabama last year in the Final Four? So I had that right, or was that 2 years ago?
I don't remember.
I can't remember either. I know Bama got to the Final Four last year. This Bama team, I'd like to see a Duke Bama, I think, Elite Eight game. I think that'd be electric.
I would not hate BYU advancing in that, to be honest with
I wouldn't
you.
either. I wouldn't either. 5.5 points with Alabama.
You know who was in the stands? Did you see who was in the stands in that BYU Wisconsin game?
Who?
Jimmer Fredette.
Jimmer
was in the gym.
Dude, he is a Chinese basketball legend, dude.
Yeah.
What do you want to guess what team he plays on over there?
I've seen the clips and the highlights, but I have no idea what it's called or what league it is.
He's from Glen Falls, New York. I wouldn't have guessed.
He's a hooper, dude. He is a hooper.
The Shanghai Sharks.
That would have been the only name that I would have known was the Shanghai. That's the one I've ever heard of is the Shanghai Sharks.
I think he's still playing over there. Yeah, dude. I mean, he's making $1.3 million a year right now.
Oh, he's making a decent living over there. And he's a superstar. He's like God over there. He is just like them guys who go over there in some of these leagues. They're just bigger than, they're huge. Bigger star than he would have ever been here, like in the NBA or whatever.
Dude, National Player of the Year in 2011.
He was a walking bucket.
Oh my gosh. Do you remember he was just walking up the floor?
Coming off the bus, he's in range, dude.
Dude, we need a Jimmer Fredette highlight reel just to roll right now, dude. Like we need that. Dude, man, I'm gonna get one together, I think. He played a little bit in the NBA.
Kings. I think it was the Kings.
Suns.
I think he bounced around a couple teams, if I remember. Maybe not.
I'm just showing the Suns.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. And I don't think it ever
he's one of them guys, though, man. His mentality, like, it would be hard for a guy like him to switch his mindset.
Oh, my God. Yeah, he bounced all the way around, dude.
What?
Keep going. Don't listen.
Yeah, he's one of them guys, the way he played and the way he scored, it's hard for them to turn their mindset into like being a role player or coming off the bench or not just having the green light all the time. So guys like that, I think it's a tough transition. If they're not the guy, sometimes it's just tough for them guys to kind of transition.
100%. You said the Kings. He started with the Kings. You're 100% right.
Okay.
Yep. Started with the Kings, 3 years, Bulls, Pelicans, Spurs, Knicks, Pelicans, Suns. So he earned $57,000 at the Pelicans. He must have played in like 2 games or something. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Jimmer Fredette. Love to see it, dude. The ultimate super soaker. Let's round it out, Kev. Round it out into the Midwest. Houston put it on SIU Edwardsville 78-40. I don't know. Was that the biggest margin of victory so far in the tournament, or was Duke's?
That's right there.
Duke's was 44 points.
That's more, yeah.
I think Duke's was. Yeah, 38-point win for Houston there. Gonzaga throttled Georgia 89-68. A lot of people were after that win were like, okay, Gonzaga, Houston, good game, and we got it. But we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Another popular 12-5 upset here. McNeese knocking down Clemson. Dude, I had Clemson moving on to the Sweet 16.
Oh, yeah, me too.
This pissed me off.
Did you watch this game from the beginning?
No, I did not.
Hey, I did.
Oh my gosh.
I did not see a more. They had 13 points at halftime.
31-13 at halftime, and they scored 54 second half points, and they still lost.
Clemson could not, this is no exaggeration. They were turning the ball over, uncontested, unforced turnovers in that first half. There, a guy over and back turnover, dribble the ball out of bounds. Like
your leg.
Oh my God. They just, it was the worst first half of basketball that I've seen in a while.
Yeah, 100%. And it was very aggravating too, because I think everyone wanted to see them play Purdue next. I thought people thought that they definitely would beat Purdue. And with people, I'm talking about me. Purdue beat High Point 75-63. Nothing really of note there.
Nope.
Illinois beat Xavier 86-73. I definitely thought Xavier had a little more punch in them, but Illinois showed up, played Illinois ball, scored 86 points. Good on them. Kentucky beat Troy 76-57. UCLA beat Utah State 72-47. A lot of people were thinking that Utah State could pull that victory.
Yeah, I had Utah State in that one.
Not even close. I don't know what you and the rest of your people were thinking. Tennessee actually played a close game to Wofford. 15-point win for Tennessee against Wofford. Did not see that coming. So Tennessee moved on. Tennessee played UCLA. Tennessee beat number 7 UCLA 67-58. I don't think anyone thought UCLA was going to beat them. I think kind of an easy draw down there for Tennessee. They were going to play Wofford, then either UCLA or Utah State. Not a whole lot of challenge there, in my opinion, right? I mean, so if we're looking at 2 seeds, Michigan State was either going to get New Mexico or Marquette, right? Well, I think we were like, okay, decent. Bama was going to play St. Mary's or Vanderbilt. Okay, right? St. John's is going to play Arkansas or Kansas, right? And they lost to Arkansas.
Yep.
And then Tennessee gets UCLA or Utah State. Like I thought that was weak, man. I just did.
And I think we talked about it. This was like I felt like one of the weaker brackets, weaker regions.
Yeah, it's top heavy. I was higher on Clemson. So I thought I was higher on Clemson, and unfortunately for Gonzaga, they had to play Houston next, which we'll get to. But if you look at it, I mean, Kentucky, Tennessee, Houston, Zaga, Clemson. I thought the Midwest was strong, but I could see what you're talking about now. I mean, it played out exactly how you thought, right? It was probably
Kentucky and Illinois are so up and down. You don't know which team is going to show up. That's kind of them two, right? Specifically, were part of my thinking in that. And I'm not a big Purdue guy, so
I'm with you there. And then those teams met up and played each other, and Kentucky beat them, man. 84-75. Kentucky moves on. Kentucky and Tennessee. Kentucky's a 4.5-point underdog to Tennessee, Kev. Thoughts?
So, do you know who won that matchup during the regular season?
Tennessee beat them twice.
Kentucky beat Tennessee twice.
Oh, my bad. Yep, my bad.
Yeah. So
we talked about this before last week's show.
Was it?
Because when we were trying to pick this, and I don't know, for like 30 seconds, I listened back and I'm like, I'm an idiot. I was like, Such as fucking blabbering. Just make up your mind, dude. Make your pick.
I think I like Tennessee in this one. I know obviously Kentucky had their number during the regular season, but
well, this is the question. Is it easier or harder to beat a team 3 times in one season?
This might just be me being too simple-minded. I don't think it fucking matters one way or the other. Like, I truly don't. Like,
no. You have to pick one.
It's not then, because I don't think it matters that you beat them twice during. Like, if Kentucky beat Tennessee in the first week of the season, to me that has no relevance on now. I don't buy into that. That was a generation ago. I mean, that was so long ago. These teams are completely.
They beat them a month ago.
Well, if that was like, depending on when they played them, like, I don't care if it was early in the year when that was the last matchup.
February 11th.
When was the first one? You know that?
Before.
Doesn't matter. I like Tennessee. I don't know the 3 game. Again, it don't matter to me. I just think the Tennessee team's better. We'll see.
Give me Kentucky. Give me Kentucky with the points. Give me Kentucky to beat them again. This is going to be one of those things, man. I think Tennessee is not going to be playing loose. Tennessee's going to be in their head. These guys got our number. I want Kentucky to do it again. That's who I want. I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I don't, because I have Tennessee winning one of my brackets. So
Oh, no. Your poor bracket. You weren't winning that bracket anyways, dude. Don't worry.
Yeah. That was my heave. That was my heave to try to go against the grain.
Further up in the Midwest here, Kev, Purdue played darling McNeese, man. I played McNeese +7 against Purdue. Purdue beat them by 14. It was never a game. They could basically just throw that stupid boom box in the trash. They should fire their manager. I mean, they just, like, you can't do that. You can't do that and get beat by 14 points, dude. Purdue was up 38-20 in the first half. How do you come out flat in the second game of the tournament in the first half? How do you come out flat? 38-20 in the first half? Come on, dude.
So I think
McNeese, get out of here.
This game for me was I can't stand watching Purdue play, and then McNeese, whatever.
Yep. This was a great game, dude. Houston Gonzaga. Awesome game. Better team won, in my opinion, but man, Gonzaga put up a fight. These teams, Houston shot 50 from beyond the arc. Gonzaga shot 45 from beyond the arc. Just an awesome game. If you bet on this game, you got Gonzaga. I think it opened at maybe it closed around 5.5. So I think you're hook covered. Depending on what number you got it on, you were either super happy or you were pissed. Because the game landed 5. So
yeah, Houston had more rebounds, less turnovers. Pretty good recipe there for moving on.
I think Gonzaga is a better team than Purdue. Would you agree?
Yes.
I think Houston's going to bury Purdue.
100%. This is the worst matchup of the Sweet 16, in my opinion. Braden Smith is one of the best guards for Purdue in the country. I mean, he's good. He's really good.
Yeah.
But the guy is a walking turnover on top of that.
Yeah.
And Houston's defense is going to smother him and these other guards. I just look for Houston. I think this will be the biggest blowout of the Sweet 16 round. Famous last words. But.
Yeah, either that or you might get Duke blowing out Zona. You got to be careful, man.
Yeah, that might be.
You got to be careful. So let's round this out one more time in the Sweet 16, Kev. I'm going to start up in the South. Auburn's playing Michigan. Auburn is laying 8.5 points to Michigan. That seems crazy to me. I I also kind of like the total in that game of over. The total is sitting at 153.5. I do think it goes over in this game. We got Ole Miss playing Michigan State, probably the game I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, it was a good
Michigan State laying 2.5 points there. We got Florida playing Maryland. I
Awesome.
hope that Maryland is competitive here, because we know, like you said, what were you calling them? Noah's Ark down in Florida.
Florida's got the Noah's Ark against Crab
Yeah.
5. Yeah.
I mean, that's a good game, dude. Texas Tech, Arkansas. I think this could be sneaky blowout potential here for Texas Tech. I think I'm going to lay it with Texas Tech. Look for Texas Tech to end up winning this game somewhere by 8-10, right? Maybe close. It hits some free throws late, and it ends up being 8 to 10 point victory. Kentucky, Tennessee. Awesome game. Kentucky's up 2-0 in the season series. Tennessee's a 4.5 point favorite. I think Vegas agrees with you, Kev, that Tennessee is going to move on there. Houston, Purdue. We hate Purdue. Houston laying 7.5. What's up?
What I was going to say, what was that? What's the biggest spread? Is it the Michigan
Duke?
What? Okay.
Yep.
Man, I like Houston to minus them all day in that
7.5. Yeah, you like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So Kev likes Houston minus 7.5 there. BYU, Bama. We already talked about this wild over 175.5 points. I just want that to happen. And now the more I'm thinking about it, I just want that. I want this to be 98, 97. You know what I mean? Like that. Just give me some fireworks. But honestly, the under might be calling my name now.
I usually think whenever these numbers are super high and you got these high offenses, it always just feels like something weird happens and shots aren't falling. And I think more and more I'm sitting here thinking about it too. It's like, man, that is a high number.
Yeah, that's a lot of points. What is that, like 90, 85 type of game right there? I mean, oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Both those teams can chuck the three though, and they're not going to stop. I mean, that's what it's all about. But maybe they tighten up a little bit in the Sweet 16 and then finish off, Kev, with Duke playing Arizona. Duke minus 8.5. I think Caleb Love's going to play good, man. I might take Arizona in the points there. I might fade the whole country.
God bless you.
Yep. I have Houston winning the bracket. Kev, who did you have winning?
Winning all?
Yep.
Tennessee.
We will get into Final Four. We'll recap Sweet 16, Elite 8 on next week's episode of No One to Blame. Make sure you follow me on X at @do_Neffy. Follow Kev at Kevin3E2. I'll be giving out all of my bets. No official plays yet, but follow me. I ended up going, I think, 7-7 through the first, I don't know how many. Yeah, the first 2 rounds. I actually, I didn't give it out. I don't give out my live bets because I feel like, first of all, no one's probably watching. Second of all, I'm getting a number that, you're giving a number out that people aren't going to see. I don't know.
Yeah,
it just
feels a little tricky. Yep.
Yeah. So, but Ole Miss was down. I don't remember by how many points to Iowa State to start that game, and I got them plus 5.5, and they just went ham. So it was like free cheese, baby. Ole Miss. We'll talk more about all this on next week's episode of No One to Blame. Kev, you got any closing thoughts?
Hey, man, just enjoy it.
Enjoy
Sweet
it.
16, big matchups, blue bloods, best teams are playing right now. Might not like it. No Cinderellas. Best teams are playing now. Let's go. Let's do it.
These are the best matchups. Everyone is upset. Yeah, I want to talk about that real quick. Let's end the show real quick. Everyone's like, where we want the upsets, this and that. No, dude. I want the best teams playing each other. That is what we got almost across the board.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody likes to see, a Norfolk or just a crazy, whatever first round matchup. But then all that's going to lead to is them getting blown out in the next round, not being a good game, and now you've got a better team that is home. Yep. I go back and forth. I like a good upset, but man, we're getting the best Sweet 16 matchups you can get. Usually you got to wait till the Elite Eight because there's a couple Cinderellas that made it to the Sweet 16.
Right.
Now you're getting the best matchups in these 16 games that you could ask for.
10-seed Arkansas is the darling right now, the Cinderella. And honestly,
Coach Kyle is a Cinderella team.
Coach Cal,
really? Is that what we're talking about? Yeah.
And it's not exactly, but I think they're going to get beat by Texas Tech. I like a lot of these favorites, unfortunately, Kev. But like I said, follow me on X, _Neffy. Make sure you're checking out all of the Do Champions content. Follow us on X, Facebook, YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. We're constantly putting out Buffalo Bills content. We are first and foremost a Buffalo Bills network, even though Kevin is a Raiders fan. We got later in the week, we got Coast to Coast coming up on Wednesday. We got Chasing Data on Thursdays. We got Hockey Hotline Saturday morning, Third and Manageable Saturday night, Buffalo Blueprint on Sunday. Packed schedule for you guys every week. Make sure you tune in next week. No One to Blame. Monday night, we'll be recapping all this juicy action. Kev, it's good to be seen, brother.
No one to blame.
Peace.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sports book of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
No One to Blame is sponsored by Altered Grounds Landscaping, the area's top professional landscape company. They're family-owned and operated business serving St. Louis and the Metro East for 20-plus years. Their mission is to make your home or business stand out from the rest. They offer free consultations year-round. Get $300 off your project of $3,000 or more with code AGNOTB. That's code AGNOTB. They're booking pools for the upcoming summer season. So if you're having any thoughts about getting a pool for this upcoming summer, stay ahead of the game and contact them now for any of your pool project needs.
There's no one to blame, there really is no one to blame. But I swear to God, it's my fucking fault. It's a better sports podcast. It's my fucking fault, but there's no one to blame. Neffy, Kevin, do. Neffy, Kevin, do.
Do it.
Kevin,
Don't listen to what I say or whatever kind of peer pressure I'm telling you.
Do it! I'll fucking do it again.
I know there's really nobody to blame for this but myself. Well, I don't know, maybe the Buffalo Bills, the Boston Red Sox, or Mr. T, or the Jets.
Wait a minute, Mr. T, are you telling me that you bet on the fight in Rocky 3 and that you bet against Rocky?
Hindsight is 20/20, my friend.